new generation. We are the youth of the nation. High in the sky. We are the new generation. Leader.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Leaders Dialogue Show. This is a show that brings on board seasoned leaders to share insights on how they have risen in the leadership ladder. In studio, you have Mr. John Ng'ang'a.
Thank you.
Mr. John Ng'ang'a, welcome to the program.
Understand.
Mr. John Ng'ang'a is a business consultant who have worked for the multinational Shell. He is also learning consultancy by the name Taluma Consultancy. He has written 10 books, and today we are going to discuss part of what is in his book, his newest book, A Leader's Work Ethics. I must admit, I like the cover of this book. The design is excellent. And also I identify with the people on the cover page because somehow they wear my working attires. Welcome so much, viewers, and be sure to hit our Facebook page at Leaders Dialogue or tweet us at Leaders Dialogue Show. In nutshell, what is the book A Leader's Work Ethic all about?
The same question is, what need in people did I see whose answer is answered by my book? Mm-hmm. 3 of them. Yes. Number 1, there is a belief among Christians that work is a curse. Mm-hmm. They believe that if it were not for the fall of man, we will not be working. Mm-hmm. In fact, some people look, heaven means being idle. Mm-hmm. We shall do nothing. Mm-hmm. My book is written to tell people work is not a curse. Mm-hmm. Like you discover when you read my book, the curse comes in Genesis chapter 3. Mm. But the work is given in Genesis chapter 2 verse 15. And God placed Adam in the garden to work it. Mm-hmm. So well before the fall of man, man was created to work. Mm-hmm. So I want people to understand that when they work, if they get saved, they don't stop from working. If it was a curse, then once you get saved, you should just eat manna. Yes. But to work, God created us to work, and even without the fall, we still were going to work. It is the difficulties with working that came with the fall, not the work itself. So my book, because you can see clearly, if you don't sort that out, people go to work as a duty. People go to work as a pain. Yes. Oh God, this Adam was terrible. He's the one who is making me work. Yes. If you understood that you are created to work, you go to work each morning, motivated to work, happy to work, and happy you have opportunity to work. Yes. That's what my book is trying to say. We want to change attitude to work. Yes. The second thing I am trying to get in the book is the understanding that the theory that is very popular with a book that many people read, you get rich, then let your money do the working. I'm saying it's not a biblical value. Since we are created to work, it does not matter how rich you become, you don't work to make money. Money is a byproduct of work. So with or without money, you must work. So you can never get rich and qualify to become idle. I like the white man who said, idle minds are the devil's workshop. So this theory that your money can work for you is a bad theory. Because we don't just work for money. Even if we had no work, or rather, we had no need of money, we would still work. Because we are created with a need and a capacity to work. So I want to deal with that. And I'm not discouraging getting rich. But I'm saying your aim will not be just to make money. Your aim will be to serve man to the glory of God, like we have seen in previous programs. The third thing that the book is trying to deal with is the whole issue about Laziness. There is a kind of a belief in many places, but at least I know it is in Kenya, where you feel if God blesses you, you don't have to work. In other words, your salary is not a blessing. After all, you have to work for it. Things that are blessings are the ones you get miraculously. I come and give you a free car. That's a blessing. You do your work until you earn enough money to buy the car. The car is not a blessing. My book wants to deal with that. The Bible says God blesses the work of our hands. That means we should not be expecting to get things from God without working. Once in a while, he does a miracle. But like I was telling some people the other day, miracles are called miracles because they are rare. Miracle is not the normal way of God providing. But once in a while, he is God. He can choose to do it. But don't get people to think that once they become Christians, they will stop working. Laziness is condemned by God. And it will be important. My book is trying to say, do you claim to be a Christian? The way I will know you are a Christian is that you not eat from being idle. In fact, the Bible puts it in very graphic language. If you don't work, don't eat. In other words, if you eat and you're not working, you are a thief. So it's important, my book is emphasizing that we must all be involved in work, but our work must add value. It's not just work. It's work that is benefiting human beings. So as they pay for it, you also benefit, but you are adding value to their lives.
Yes, it's a really good book. Talking about working, reasons behind working, and looking at our nation where gambling is so rampant, prosperity gospel is so rampant, what would be your take on the reasons as to why we should work? Is it for money? And what would you tell those young people who are so much hooked into gambling, and those young families who flock churches where this gospel of prosperity is?
You know, I must address myself first to people involved in gambling. Gambling does not add any value to anybody. Why? People involved in gambling suffer from three things. Number one is addictive. Many families are destroyed because the husband or the wife took family money, took school fees, they went gambling with it, it was lost, and the marriage is now broken, and many people end up becoming drunkards. But it all began from gambling. So anybody who begins a gambling business or involved in gambling business, it's a pity some churches even do gambling inside the church as a way of raising funds. But you need to understand the impact of that is adding people in addiction and destruction. Remember, I said serving God is actually serving man to the glory of God. You are not serving man. If out of a million people, each gives 10 shillings, then all of them lose. Only one person gains. The owner of rather two people, the owner of the gambling machine and one winner. Surely. If the majority are being destroyed, even if one of them has benefited, is that something? My book is saying, no. God does not bless you through destroying others. He blesses through you adding value onto others. So you need to understand that it has none. But you know, it has a source. Once you start believing that blessings is when you get something without working for it, then gambling is a blessing. Because you say, I prayed so hard. And God, look what God gave me. 10 million shillings. In fact, 10% I'm giving to God. You see them on TV, promising to tithe 10%. And of course, the pastors are happy. If he has won 10 million, 1 million goes to the church, even the pastor will be happy. But you see, how many homes have you destroyed through the one winner? But it's all coming from a belief that you are not blessed if you have to sweat. You are not blessed if you have to work hard. That's why gambling. So my book is saying that. The second one are these wealth and health gospel. You know, they are tied. Because the wealth and health gospel emphasizes You tithe, you will get money. In other words, it's like you are trading with God.
Yeah.
Because you give $1,000,
Yeah.
you will get 100,000 shillings because you invested.
Yes.
It's like you are bribing God in order for Him to bless you.
Yes.
Like I said earlier, that's not the reason we give. We give in thankfulness. Because anything we give to God came from me in the first place. How can you bribe me with my own money?
You can.
I am the one who gave you the money.
Yes.
God is the one who gave you the money.
Yeah.
How can you bribe Him?
You can't.
It needs to be understood the way of the Holy Gospel simply is not biblical.
It's not.
They promise all things work well. But for majority of us,
Yeah.
things don't work well.
They don't.
You would have to apologize to Job for what he went through.
Yes.
Because he was a godly man, he was a righteous man, and we have the authority of the scriptures to how godly he was.
Yes.
Yet he suffered. Things went bad. He lost economically. He lost health-wise. You'd have to. So my book is saying,
Yeah.
when you become a Christian, you start having a positive attitude to work.
Yes.
And start believing that God will bless your work.
Yes.
Because He says, I'll bless the work of your hands. So it means, in my mind,
Yeah.
you cannot be a Christian and want to get things you do not intend to work for.
Yes.
Work, but you still need God's blessings for the work to bless, to be a blessing to you. It's not enough to be hard work. There are many people who do hard work and yet they don't get good results. We need to both work and pray.
Excellent. Viewers, we are so grateful you are continuing watching us. It's getting better and better. Make sure you forward your comments on Facebook page at Leaders Dialogue, on Twitter at Leaders Dialogue Show. We'll be right back after this. Thank you.
Leader.